So hello everyone, my name is Shekhar and welcome to another episode of UniVoyage. Today we have with us Aditya Iyer. He's a student of the IP 23 batch and we're glad to have the opportunity to interview today. So Aditya, why don't you start with the introduction of yourself?
Sure. So I come from Navi Mumbai, Maharashtra. I completed my 12th from Goldcrest in Navi Mumbai, and I was in the commerce stream from 11th and 12th. And I heard about Ipmat initially when I was in class 11th, and I was intrigued that from day one that I am Indore to jana hai. That was the dream from day one.
So before getting into any of the other questions, I'd like to ask, how are you feeling at IIM Indore? Like you must have already spent around 3 to 4 months here?
Yeah, so I think today has been 68 days since I've been here, so 2 months is
Wow.
completed on 20th. And like the journey has been like nothing short of just absolutely like amazing, unparalleled. Matlab, whatever I had thought ki college life would be, had definitely surpassed everything. Matlab, one reason is my sleep schedule has been like completely gone for a toss, and I actually enjoyed that. Matlab, the late night study, the group, hanging out with the group and friends, exerting ourselves is fun. So
The compromise on the sleep is something I can definitely relate with, but yeah.
So yeah.
What about the subjects? That's the fun part, right? What about the subjects? Any subjects that you love?
So, like, not many people know this, but the curriculum at IPM is super duper hectic. But like all the aspirants, be prepared. Like, I remember on inauguration day, the director had said that coming to the writing the IPM and clearing it is tough, but staying in IPM is even tougher. And that day I was laughing, ki, ha, kya bol raha hai, prepared for this for 1 year. And now I'm actually realizing what his words meant. So like IPM is going to be very tough. Some subjects will be easy, like you have courses like dance, drama, and other subjects which will actually be fun. But you have to work hard in everything. There is no scope, no alternative for hard work.
Definitely. Even when we came to IPM, we had this whole thing of clearing IPM was the easiest part.
So you feel that like we're here. I like to mention economics, like one of the subjects. I loved economics, and here our professor is a very like sweet and he's a gentleman. He shares notes after every class. So economics is one subject that like I have been in love with since I'm here.
Are you talking about Sudhirtha sir?
Yeah, I'm talking about Sudhirtha sir. Sudhirtha sir is like a gentleman.
Yeah, I can agree to that.
Best professor.
So how do you think life has changed for you after coming here? Like it must be a big transition from coming from school to a college as reputed as Amanda, right?
Definitely. One quirk is that people come to me for tips and advice more often now than they used to earlier. They come to me for advice. Yeah, I mean, like college, I am in Indore definitely is an institution in itself, a great institution. But the IPM program is so unique. Like as students, when we get to experience for the first time, this is not like a traditional college. Although this is actually training you to be the best manager and the most socially conscious manager, if I may say, that you can ever be.
That's Indore's motto, right?
Yeah, that's their motto. That's
to produce contextually relevant and socially
conscious
managers, right? So let's try to get into the very exciting part where our viewers would be most looking forward to. How did you prepare for IPMAT? Which exams did you study for, applied to, and all that? We are really interested to get to know about that.
So I wrote IPM 80 Indore, IPMAT Rohtak, and I also wrote NPAT. I would say that to like get in the nitty-gritties of like all the 3 sections, quants, I was fairly good at maths up till my class 12th, so it was not difficult. For the VA, I lagged a bit in certain sections like reading comprehension, which was new to me because it was a competitive exam. So I used to like read as much as I can material, and I guess that helped boost up my VA scores. So I gave these 3 exams.
Okay, so how much do you think LR played a role?
So again, not many people know about this, but in the quant section of the IPM 80, the last 5 questions of the MCQ, it's a DILR set which you have to crack, and like that, if you crack it, it's one of the easiest things to crack, and that boosts your score by 20 marks. So like it's a great differentiator between the person who can solve it and who can't. I unfortunately didn't practice as much LR as I should have, and that was like part of the reason my quant score was not that great. But if you give sufficient time and you devote enough time to LR, like it will help in the IPM paper. I can guarantee you that.
Why don't you spill the tea and tell your individual marks as well?
Sure. So I got 28 in the essay, QA. I got 78 in the MCQ, and I got 155 in the VA.
Damn, 155.
Yeah.
So that must be How many marks?
Yeah, I scored 261 overall.
261 out of 400.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. So what I think I'd like to bring your attention to one point, and if you can talk about the top 3 things which you feel contributed to your success of clearing IPM at Indore.
One would definitely be being consistent, because like once you have set the goal, like first important thing is to set the goal in mind. Okay, that I am Indore is the dream. I remember seeing those 3 golden arches in every shot of I am Indore. I was like, एक photo तो बनता है इन golden arches के सामने. Like that is every aspirant's dream. So set a goal in mind, be consistent, work every day, work. I used to work, like I used to study for Ipmat in the weekends. The weekdays I used to devote for my boards, and the Saturday Sunday was completely Ipmat prep, because I was sure that if I don't work hard now, then I have to stretch at the end, and that would be difficult, like covering up 1 year's of syllabus in 2 months. So be consistent, do hard work, and lastly, thoda bahut you have to like have a good group to study in. Like individual preparation is good, but if you have a group of people, like I had a group of friends who were studying with me for the IPMAT, and like that helps a lot. So have a good group of friends around you, like who are study minded, who are focused, and ultimately you'll clear through if you give the right efforts.
Yeah, I also feel the group aspect of it is very important, because you yourself are motivated, but you also need to have someone else who could actually push you to do better, and that is how the other people positively reinforce you.
Correct.
So did any sorry, continue.
So I remember Rushil Bhaiya, like UniVoyage is a Telegram group where we can share doubts and everything. So I used to post doubts, like I posted in the often, like in the April, May, in the period before the IPMAT exam, and that helped basically because it created a right atmosphere. At the end of the day, that's what's important for an exam.
Did any one of your group friends make it to Indore?
Well, I've been in deep trouble. I was the one who made it. One of them is I am Ranchi, and other is in NMIMS.
So I think you're one of the lucky ones then.
I guess, yeah. So the third factor, I think many people don't talk about this, but luck is also very important. Luckily for me, about the LR set, I could crack it in the nick of time, but I know a few people who couldn't crack it because they didn't devote enough time to LR. So luck is also a big differentiator. But at the end of the day, like there are some things beyond your control, and you have to admit that as an aspirant. You can't like curse yourself. You just calm down. If you feel pressure at any time, don't worry, everything will be fine.
So why don't we break it down into a day-wise schedule? Like how much time do you think you gave on a daily basis? Because a very burning question we get from the aspirants is that we have to manage boards as well, right? Because that is also very important. So how do you manage boards along with IPMAT preparation?
I would say that this is my strategy again. I believe that this may not work for everyone, but devote your weekdays, Monday to Friday, for your board prep, because that is equally, if not more essential than your Ipmat. Because as everybody knows that the passing rate is less than 1%, but your board scores will help you like throughout your life. Whichever exam that you're giving, your 10th and 12th marks are definitely important. So focus on that. I believe that 2 or 3 days of IPMAT prep a week is more than sufficient. You give 1 day to quants, like the full day. I mean diligent prep. This is not like brushing the prep. Give 1 day of diligent prep to quants. Give 1 day of diligent prep to VA. Focus on LR and DI also. So 3 days a week is more than sufficient.
Oh, that's nice. That's a very good approach to take, I feel, because that would first of all divide your time equally, and you will not miss out on any one of those 2 things as well. So what about the coaching? Which coaching did you take, and how did it go?
So I joined UniVoyage I think in the month of April, and on the day of joining I had some problems with like the login. So I messaged Rushil Bhaiya, and he immediately responded to me in the middle of the night, and that's when I was sure that I think I'm in safe hands now with UniVoyage. So I did the mock test. I did about 15 mock tests, like whatever mock test they had, I used to do. I finished all of them. I did Rohtak, I did NPAT, I did IPM at Indore. All the mock tests I finished, and like the mock test was like a major boost, because the differentiator between someone who is sitting for the exam who has prepped and someone who hasn't is usually the mock test. So that's very important.
Yeah, I can concur to that. Apart from that, what aspect of your preparation you felt was the toughest?
I said VA is a game changer. Means this year the cutoff for the IPMAT in the VA section was 125, and like out of 180, like scoring almost 31 questions is not extremely tough, and like you have to have a sufficient edge also, like to be able to have a good chance of converting your interview call. So VA has to be like one of the toughest sections. Like many people think it's easy, it's just regular English, but it's not. At the end of the day, we have reading comprehension, you have para-jumbles, you have like a host of other things. Your grammar has to be top notch. So like quants is tough, but VA is tough to crack, I would say.
Yeah, like making those questions are very, very tough for us as well when we set those questions. So did we help you in any way in that aspect?
So like I remember when I used to give the UniVoyage mocks, my scores in VA used to be like absolutely, like, I can't even disclose them now because I never like even crossed the triple digit. I remember I was usually stuck in a double digits. But with over time, as I studied more, I read more books. I used to read the newspaper every day, and this is my advice to like all the aspirants in the 2024 years to come. Pick up a newspaper, read it, scan it. I would say pick up usually a financial newspaper, that helps because economics is something that you will deal with a lot. So pick up a newspaper, read it thoroughly, because not only for your Ipmat vocabulary and everything, but when you come to the interview round, as our IPM chair mentioned it, like they are looking for people who are aware. They don't want people who don't have an understanding of the environment around them. So they usually need self-aware people. You need to know what's happening around you. So the newspaper part helps there. UniVoyage has about 100 videos on their YouTube channel, and I can like guarantee that I have seen each and every one of them. Like I remember one of the videos in which the restaurant had SR10 were being displayed, and I used to think to myself that yeah, ek din to I have to go and eat in one of these restaurants because that's the dream like for an IPM aspirant. I've seen all videos.